Good morning and welcome to the VSA Morning Miner. It's Tuesday, the 28th of February, and I'm joined by Paul Rankin. Paul, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. Did you cycle in this morning? Was it as cold?
Slightly warmer, but still pretty cold. Not as cold as it's going to be in Toronto, though.
That's true, I suppose so.
But we won't be cycling there. Right, well, after a sort of flurry of announcements in the EV critical metals space, announcement yesterday of Stellantis, the EV maker, making an investment in McEwen Mining.
Yes, that's right. McEwen Mining holds the Los Azules copper porphyry project in Argentina, and Stellantis going to make a $155 million investment into McEwen for a 14% stake in the company, which would make it the second largest shareholder in McEwen. We have to think that this is about Stellantis trying to secure long-term eventual offtake off of Los Azules. Los Azules has been a very large low-grade porphyry project McEwen has held in portfolio, but hasn't really advanced much because of copper prices as well as its highly levered preliminary economics numbers that came back when it did the study several years ago on that. So these numbers, this investment will essentially allow McEwen to push Los Azules into the feasibility studies to get much closer predictions on what actual costs and revenue might be going forward with much greater detail on the development for the project.
Yeah, it's also interesting in that whereas in lithium, the car manufacturers have invested in probably the tier one projects, I don't think this necessarily counts as that in copper. Perhaps that's because there's enough broader interest in investing in copper that the mining companies haven't felt they needed investment from EV manufacturers, so they've been pushed slightly further down the chain.
Yes, that's right. And if you're going to find anything with any real potential mine life, I think there just aren't that many projects out there that to choose from if you're companies that are first trying to get a major position in some kind of a significant copper deposits. Either the projects are too young and you can't really put any good solid financial numbers around how much money you might make, or they're far enough along or otherwise subscribed and dedicated to other trading companies or mining companies.
Yep. Right, there's some drill results out from Prime Mining. What's the news there, Paul?
Yes, this is new drill discoveries in peripheral vein sets elsewhere in the district outside of the existing resource envelopes, and most of them, or many of them, also on new veins not otherwise drilled before. For Prime Mining there in the Los Reyes project in Mexico. Particular numbers coming out from new areas called Mariposa, Fresnillo, Orito, which are, and Mina, all of which are either in between pits on parallel vein sets, or in fact, these others in the northwest along vein trends and in new vein trends well up into the northeast of the property. A couple of these caught my attention because of their grade widths, which would suggest that there might be really interesting to follow up just to see how extensive the mineralization might be, as this is just the first set of numbers to come back in drilling on a couple of these areas like Mariposa and Mina. So encouraging that there is to be more satellite mineralization to be defined here at Los Reyes.
Yeah, and pretty early in the current drilling program, so plenty more meters to come. Anything else, Paul?
Yeah, it hasn't gotten much attention at all in the press, but it was I thought it was worthwhile mentioning this latest set of sanctions, which was in fact approved against Russia and Russian individuals by the United States and the EU both at the end of last week. Mentioning it because this round of sanctions is specifically targeting the natural resource sector, specifically in mining among its various sanctions. And what it does is it closes a number of loopholes that were allowing companies to trade or do commerce, both in importing goods and supplies and exporting mineral material, such that the principals, management, board members, major financiers of all of these Russian mining companies now, not just targeted ones, but essentially all Russian mining now can be have its individuals have sanctions put upon them for the movement of their own personal movements as well as the movement of funds. So I think it will have some significant impact on some companies like like Alrosa in the diamond sector. I think it'll have impact on PGMs and nickel prices and on aluminium smelter quotes. As well as uranium as well. So all five of those situations, I think we'll see a tightening of available material in the Western markets going forward.
Okay. All right, Paul. Thanks very much for your thoughts. We'll be back tomorrow.
Very good. See you then.